there's a massive industry, and we only have to look at Tony Robbins as an example of someone who's made a fantastic career out of finding out the method of how people became successful. So really, that was how Tony started out his career. He was just a guy who wanted to find out how successful people became successful. And it was interesting. I was doing some homework with my 12-year-old daughter the other day, and she was showing me the scientific method that she has to memorize. And what was so fantastic about this is that when we were just reading it, and she just had to memorize it. And I said that's a really useful thing, that it's interesting that scientists use a scientific method to find out if something is what it is. If they're trying to achieve something, first they ask the question, what are we trying to achieve? And then there's a method, a step of processes that is universal that helps guide and ensure the outcome, whether it be A or B. And what was interesting was that there was a really useful practical element that we could use this method for, which was fantastic. And I think that the best way to educate your kids is to be able to give what they're doing a practical use in their life today. So, it's really important that, we understand that what are we trying to achieve? And kids are always trying to achieve something, whether it be at team sports on the weekend or whether it just be to get up on time for school. I mean, there is always something that a child is trying to achieve. And I just thought it really useful that this scientific method we could apply not just to memorize for the sake of getting a test right, but we could actually implement it into making her more organized. So as you go into year 7, it's a major change and, it's a lot busier. So what we were finding is that there were a few things that she was missing out on because she wasn't so organized. Now, what we did is that we actually applied the scientific method, which is, observation, question, research, hypothesis, experiment, collect data, analysis, and a conclusion. So we incorporated that into organization. So, the question, want to be more organized? How are we going to do that? What's the method? Is there calendars? Is there whiteboards? What kind of methods can we use to ensure, we actually get what we want to do? So again, you have you hypothesize about it. You actually have a conversation about what it is you're trying to achieve, how you think you can achieve it, and what are the things that you're going to do to achieve it. And you collect the data. So, okay, let's find out if the next week we miss out on anything, and then follow that up the next week later, and you kind of actually take an approach to everything that you do, and it's quite just interesting that, there is a scientific method. And I think that same scientific method, I mean, you can tweak it individually, to your own personal needs if you like, but I think that everything that we need, everything that we do, there has to be a method to it. And, there is in science, it's how they definitively find out what something is. But I just think that, any kind of lesson that you're teaching children, it's always brilliant to capitalize on that lesson by making it relevant in what they do every day. That is the best way to learn. Use these like the example I've just done. It was just brilliant. And the synergy, between us and kind of going, yeah, this is actually, so it just became so much more than just memorizing a scientific method for a test. It was about, if scientists are doing this, you can do it too. So find the question, what are you trying to achieve, and apply a method and enjoy the results.